Good evening, parents and students. My name is Miss Waters. I'm head teacher of the Ursuline High School, and I'd like to welcome you to the transitions evening for Year 6. First of all, congratulations to all students on being awarded their place at the Ursuline High School. We're really looking forward to meeting you and for you joining our school in September. This evening we have Mr. Adam, our Deputy Head Teacher, Mrs. Jefferies, Assistant Head Teacher and Head of Year 7, Mr. Nichols, Assistant Head Teacher for Teaching and Learning, Ms. Delhoum, the SENDCo, and Mrs. Alexander, who's our Designated Safeguarding Officer and Head of Inclusion. They're here to share with you the priorities for the transition for this year. But before we start, I'd like to say the prayer of St. Angela. Gracious God, let us remain in harmony, united together, all of one heart and one will. Let us be bound to one another by the bond of love, respecting each other, helping each other, and bearing with each other in Jesus Christ. For if we try to be like this, without doubt, you, Lord God, will be in our midst. St. Angela Marici, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, first of all, I'd like to hand over now to Mr. Adam, who's Deputy Head Teacher. Mr. Adam.
Thank you. Good evening. I would like to join Ms. Waters in thanking you for entrusting your daughter's secondary education to us. We know that as parents, with a large choice of secondary schools, that your family opted for the Ursuline is a vote of confidence that we value very much, and we hope to repay that confidence over the coming years by ensuring your daughter's secondary years are marked by happiness and success. And for this reason, our induction process begins here today. So at the Ursuline, we don't want to spend all of the first term in the autumn getting to know your daughter. Our aim is for all of us, parents, teachers and students, to get to know each other so that when September comes, we will be ready to work together as a team. Specifically, we will discover what your daughter's strengths are so that we can help her to exploit these once she starts at the Ursuline, whether it is an academic gift or any talent, be it musical, dramatic, artistic, or in a sporting field. Of course, we also need to know about those areas your daughter may find more difficult so that we can offer all the support necessary to help her overcome any difficulties. And for that reason, our SEN team provides support for students with specific learning needs, whilst the EAL specialist works with students for whom English is not their first language. So I'm now going to take you through the various stages of our induction program. Further to tonight's welcome presentation, there will be your daughter's entry assessment in May. This will be followed in June by meetings with the SEND department if needed. All parents and students will also meet your future tutor at the end of June online. And we hope we will be able to hold a transition day in July, but this very much remains subject to government announcements as part of the roadmap out of the lockdown. I would like to thank you all for completing all the details required on our application online, on the online application form. Thank you very much for doing so promptly. We know there have been occasional glitches with the system, and we thank you for your patience and understanding with our new portal. So, in terms of the assessment in May, we will be assessing your daughter's ability in English and maths. The English assessments will include a reading paper, 1 hour long, and a writing paper, 25 minutes long. There will be a break during which your daughter will have the chance to have a drink, to use the toilets if she needs to, and it will be followed by a maths paper, non-calculator paper. The purpose of the assessments is to really understand the entry point of each student into Year 7, so that we can better meet the needs of your daughter as soon as she arrives at school. Students will be grouped according to those assessments in English and in maths, and as a timetabling consequence, also in French. French groupings will match the English groupings. We look to offer each and every girl's support and challenge where they need it. And in order to do this most effectively, those assessments are very valuable to the school. To facilitate social distancing, 2-meter social distancing during the assessments, we will be holding 6 sessions spread over 3 days, the 8th, 15th and 22nd of May. You will receive your invitation by email in the next few days, informing you of the actual date and start and finishing times for the assessments. You will need to bring your daughter to Crescent Road entrance at the time and date indicated. Please be punctual, as the assessment will start promptly after arrival. Your daughter will need to wear her current school uniform, and she will need to bring the equipment you can see on the slide: 2 pens, a pencil, a rubber, a ruler, and also a snack and a bottle of water. There is no need to do any revision ahead of those assessments, so please alleviate any anxiety your daughter may have about those. There is absolutely no revision required. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact Mrs. Barcelona or Mrs. Jefferies. We have 7 tutor groups at the Ursuline of approximately 30 students in each group. The 7 groups are divided into 2 populations, which we call A and B, not very originally. All groups are based on the friendship requests that you've made through the application as much as possible and are mixed ability. Both populations are in fact equal in ability. We ensure that is the case. Students attend registration in their tutor group as well as their academic lessons in year 7, with the exception of English, maths and French. Moving into June, so at the end of June, there will be an online meeting between yourselves, your daughter, and the form tutor who will have your daughter in year 7. They will be spread over 3 days, from the 29th of June to the 1st of July, and you will be informed in advance of the time and day of your meeting, so that you can inform the primary school ahead of schedule. This will be the perfect opportunity to alleviate any concern or anxiety your daughter may have about starting at the Ursuline, or discuss any medical needs, and for you to ask any questions about joining the Ursuline in September. Based on the information you've already supplied to us online in terms of SEND needs and results from the May assessments, further meetings may also be scheduled with the SEND department, and Mrs. Delhoum will talk a bit more about this shortly. So in July, the next key date is at present the 7th of July for the transition day. As I said, we hope to be able to hold the day, but this remains very much subject to the government announcement in terms of lifting the lockdown restrictions. Should it go ahead, students will spend the day at the Ursuline attending lessons as well as doing a range of other activities. It's a chance for them to get to know each other in the form group as well as their form tutor and their head of year, Mrs. Jefferies. It's also a chance to get to know the school a little bit. And above all, it's about getting the feel of what it's like to attend the Ursuline secondary school that when September comes, hopefully will not feel quite as daunting. And then after the summer holiday, coming into the autumn term, the transition process does not finish at the end of July. It does continue until November. And as soon as school returns, we will hold another evening where there will be more information given about teaching and learning, assessment, and about an extensive enrichment program, as well as important information about well-being and safeguarding. In October, you will have another opportunity to meet with your daughter and her tutor to discuss how the first 6 weeks at the Ursuline have gone, both on a pastoral and academic level. And the end of the transition process occurs in November with a commissioning service. Moving a little bit away from transition per se, I just want to finish off with a word about the school canteen. Students will not experience a school canteen on their induction day if it goes ahead, but I need to tell you a little bit about the canteen. School lunches are compulsory in year 7 because we feel it's vital that all students eat a healthy meal at lunchtime. To do so, they will sit in their form group, and it's another opportunity for them to get to know each other and to make those new friendships. We use a cashless system, and you will be contacted to set up an account for your daughter with Parent Pay. You will then be able to pay money into your daughter's account online as and when you like. Your daughter will be able to access her account in the canteen by pressing a finger against the biometric reader, and this means that any money will be kept securely for her. That way, no money can be lost or forgotten on the bus, for example. The school does not keep a record of your daughter's fingerprint. A print will be taken to set up the account, but the information stored will be in the form of an encrypted data obtained from the print, not the fingerprint itself. Thank you for your attention. I will now pass on to Mrs. Delhoum, the SEND coordinator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. I'd like to extend a really warm welcome to everybody, the class of 2021, parents and carers, on behalf of the Learning Support Team. We know at Ursuline High School that it's through identifying and embracing different learning needs that inclusion can be realised. And we also know that we cannot achieve that without this partnership that we're beginning and building tonight through this information evening. So I'd like to talk a little bit now about identification remote. The information that you provided to us on the online data form so far regarding any additional needs that your daughter might have is key as part of this identification process, and it's already informing the planning that we're having for assessments in May that Mr. Adams spoke about, and will also underpin the communication that we have with you in June and July. In terms of any medical reports and information that you have about additional needs from other agencies, it would be great that you share these reports with us, and we've already received some of these and are starting conversations. Our other partners are obviously primary schools. In May, we've got 2 dates, the 26th and the 27th, when we meet with our partners in the feeder primary schools. We will have a transition event on these dates, particularly around American transition, and it's another key date and time when we will be identifying needs, because our primary partners obviously know your daughters and they'll be passing on information about the support that they have received and also the support that they feel could be beneficial at transition. So, key dates around assessment with access arrangements. On Saturday the 15th of May, provision will be made during the transition assessments for students who may need access arrangements. These include, for example, extra time, meeting any medical needs, use of a laptop. My email will be at the end of this presentation. Again, you can use that to provide any relevant paperwork and to get in touch. Then looking further ahead into the summer term, June and July. The SEND department will be contacting families who've identified on the online form that their daughter has additional needs. And we will be inviting some students in for additional screening as needed on either the 22nd or the 28th of June 2021, based on the results from the transition assessments in May. We really look forward to talking to you in person about your daughter's needs and how we will be planning to support those needs for a very successful transition to Year 7 and beyond. Further transition support, we hope to arrange for parents and students with education healthcare plans to visit Ursuline High School in the summer term to meet with the learning support team, subject to government guidance. And we also hope in the autumn term, when you've actually joined Ursuline High School, to be able to run our SEND coffee morning for parents of students with additional needs, whether that's at SEN support level or for students with an education healthcare plan, again to meet the whole team at the start of the autumn term. We know that in some cases needs may already be identified, but we're also aware that in the course of transition and into year 7 and beyond, needs may be identified at that point, and we will work and strive to support those needs and achieve inclusion. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass over to Mr. Nichols now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mr. Nichols and I'm in charge of teaching and learning, curriculum and also digital learning. It's the digital learning part that I will speak with you about today. When you join us in September, I look forward to going through the excuse me, teaching and learning part of my role as you go through the school at Ursuline High School. In terms of digital learning, we have a really clear vision at Ursuline High School, and it's about making sure that our students are future ready, that they understand the specialist skills for learning, life and work with exceptional fluency in the language of a globally connected society. There's quite a lot to say really, isn't it? But it's about making sure that our students are able to cope with the changing world, are able to cope with using digital means of learning in the right way and in the right skill set. What is a digital learner? Future ready with an eye on the digital horizon. It's very clear that 90% of the jobs that our students will go into over the next decade or two will need to be digitally literate, and it's really important that we upskill our students in that and make sure that they've got those employability skills, they can use their IT skills, but also do it safely so that they have that cyber resilience, and that make sure that their digital footprint is safe because it's always there, it stays with them forever. We want to make sure that the digital learning at Ursuline High School enhances their learning, and it's a really important factor in making sure that they're prepared as they move through school and beyond school as well. We also like to make sure that our students are using IT creatively and that it really supports and enhances their learning but doesn't take over their learning. That's really clear in our teaching and learning vision. We do have an anywhere, anytime policy. Make sure that we use our laptops in the classroom. They're able to use them in school, during school and after school as well, and at home. Making sure that we integrate the technology in the right way. So on arriving at Ursuline High School at the start of year 7, your daughter will receive a laptop to use in school and at home. And when you get that laptop, we'll go through all the safety procedures with that, how to use it safely, and the safety checks that we have in place as well. At the start of year 10, there'll be a new laptop given to your daughter as well to make sure that the IT is able to keep up with the demands of the day-to-day living. How is it used? Remote teaching and learning. Obviously, you're aware we're in the middle of a pandemic. We've had lockdown. We've had 3 lockdowns already. And the first lockdown this time last year, straight away, because all of our students had laptops, our learning continued, our curriculum continued. We were able to have a functioning school, teaching and learning as we went through that lockdown. Our students joined us for every single lesson without missing a beat. We're able to use the laptops to share ideas, to collaborate, to give that instant feedback from the teacher and from each other. We're able to use it for assessments during the lessons so we can check the learning straight away and really drill down to any misconceptions and move forward, making sure that everybody understands what they need to. We've got lots of subject-specific tools. Maths have a really powerful maths watch. Science, for example, use Caboodle, and SENDCo is a really good way of checking the learning very quickly in the lesson. We use Microsoft Teams. We are a Microsoft school, and we're moving forward with that. We're working on becoming an incubator school and then a showcase school as well. Our VLE, the Microsoft Teams, is accessible through the school website, and it's also a desktop app on all of our laptops as well. All of our remote learning was done through this in a safe and secure manner, and that's one thing we're very, very focused on, is the safeguarding of our students when using technology. So just a few bits then about the school laptop scheme. We have the School Development Fund, which finances our school laptop scheme in addition to various other projects and facilities around the school. As such, we ask all parents to contribute to the scheme, the suggested amount being £30 a month for the duration of your child's education at the Ursuline High School. We understand that some parents can afford to donate more, which is greatly appreciated, and that others may need support. Please contact the finance team, Miss Silk, if you're entitled to free school meals, or if you wish to discuss your donation as well. And this ensures that we're able to make sure that every student has access to a laptop through their learning at Ursuline High School. The Finance Department will send you an email via Applica with the donation forms attached. Please return it by email directly to the Finance Department or print it and return it in hand when you bring your daughter to sit her assessment. These donations are vital for the running of our school. We're a voluntary aided school, and those donations have helped to fund our new Catherine Johnson T-level building. They've refurbished all 9 science labs, refurbished the chapel, they've enabled us to get a new minibus, refurbished the St Angela Arts Centre and Gallery, and also been part of the window replacement programme. Everything we get from those donations is put directly back into the learning for your daughter. I'm going to hand you over now to Miss Alexander, who's in charge of pastoral care and inclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols, and good evening. So my role at the school is to be looking at how well your students are settling in from the pastoral point of view. As we said earlier in the presentation, we're really excited to meet the young people and to make sure that we look after them just as well as you do at home. As part of my role here is partly looking at how well that they settle in terms of getting to know their tutor, getting to know their head of year, and the extensive pastoral support that we have on offer. As well as that, we deal with many of those issues that might be settling in, but some of those bigger issues, such as things like gender equality, looking at racism and LGBT and sexual harassment, and looking at how we educate these young people through our PSHE and our RSE curriculum to make sure they can express and share their worries, but also for us to educate them on how they move forward on these tricky issues that they need to be educated on to make their way through society today. We know that it's really important to work alongside parents and make sure we journey together to get the right support for your daughter and to take her on the journey through the Ursuline. As well as part of the inclusion is to really looking at the equality. As I mentioned already, but we have 3 particular targets, and every year we look at different areas of this that we want to focus on. You can see our 3 targets this year, and they will change again next year, but this year very much looking at instances of racism and how we're treating fairly in school, looking at the LGBT+ community, and then looking at equality for women. And again next year we'll be looking at very similar things, but changing perhaps just the focus. Safety and wellbeing really is paramount to the young people being in school and then to and from school. The things that we are obviously looking at for a day-to-day basis is that safeguarding in school and to ensure it's our priority. We have 0 tolerance on things like bullying and racism and harassment and peer-on-peer abuse. As I mentioned, we teach them through our PSHE curriculum, but it is something that the pastoral team are really well trained in and something that day-to-day is part of our day-to-day work. As you can see, we have some key people in school that will help with this, the wellbeing and the safety of your daughters. Myself being one of them, but Miss Gilmore as the mental health lead, and Miss McCourt as the PSA for Year 7 is also a safeguarding trained officer. And we welcome Miss Wild, who's new to the school this year, for our wellbeing coordinator, who's also a safeguarding officer. The 4 friendly faces that young people get to know across the school. Also, a part of that extensive offer we have, we are part of the South West London Mental Health Trailblazer, and that's our real mental health focus in school and our wellbeing focus. And we have a really good offer in terms of support we can offer in school to make sure that we are having those really open and honest conversations about emotional wellbeing. At different points in the year, we look to see what support needs to be looked at for capacity and see what the young people needs are changing over time. At the moment, you can see we have the school nurse, we have the educational wellbeing practitioners, we have a mental health nurse, and we have our school counsellor. There are lots of services that we offer in-house, as well as obviously working with the outside agencies such as CAMS, COOTH, Off the Record, and anything else we think that might be the needs of the student locally. Obviously, the online security is really paramount to today's society, and obviously working online over the last year, we've seen a real increase in kind of that safety online, and we have to make sure we are working through how we're keeping your daughters safe. So really, we have an online monitoring software system called eForensics, and it's a 24-hour monitoring system that we're alerted to. And even over the holidays, it's something that is we're alerted to at a school that we would follow up and alert you to any issues that are arising. we feel that this is something that we need to work with the parents and to make sure that you are in just as much as the know about what are those safety issues that are coming up online, and they're forever changing. They're changing daily. We will send out information on that as and when we get new information. One thing we think is really important as you join and be part of our community is that you have that online training before your daughter arrives at the Ursuline. And we've signed up for an online safety alliance that all of our staff have done at the school, and this will be on offer for you. You can see the link that you can take yourself to the website, and as soon as it goes live, we'll be sent the live link of how to access that within the next couple of weeks, to access that before your daughter starts at the Ursuline. It is something that is taught in the PSHE curriculum about internet safety and responsibility as well, and as I said, it's ever changing and ever something that we need to move with as well. Thank you for your time. I will now hand over to Miss Jefferies.
Thank you, Miss Alexander. Well, welcome to our live event this evening. It's my job to speak to you a little bit this evening about tips for a successful transition. I realise that at the moment it's an exciting time. It's a time of great change, and you are probably at the moment feeling as students that you are a very big fish in a little pond now at the top of your primary school experience, and that perhaps there's a little apprehension of coming to a big school and becoming that little fish and not quite sure what's going on. But it is a time of growth and a time of change, as I said, so it's great excitement, and we're really, really looking forward to seeing you in person here at the Ursuline. Transitioning to another school is going to naturally bring common worries along with you, and that's okay. And it is I say that because I would like you to be able to feel that you can always talk to us about any worries that you might have. So we don't ever want you to think that perhaps worrying about making new friends is strange or odd. It's not. It's very common. It's very natural. I would feel exactly the same if I was to move schools. I'm not, by the way. Class groupings, will I be with my friends? As you may recall, Mr. Adam was talking that one of our main priorities is to look at your friendship requests and, where possible, adhere to that. And you might be worried about perhaps getting lost in a really big school. Little secret, I've been here for a long time and I do still sometimes think, oh, which way should I go down the corridor? So you won't be alone there. Okay, so there's a number of different things that might worry you or concern you, but they are very natural and very common, and it is okay to talk about them and express those to us so that we can help you with some solutions along the way. But of course, there are lots of great things to look forward to. So a new start, a fresh beginning, making new friends, learning new subjects, earning rewards and certificates. So finding new ways to be successful, to reach your potential, to follow your dreams. Getting involved in the school life and the extracurricular activities will support you in that. And also it's a time where you become a little bit more independent, a little bit more responsible, maybe for your journey to school or your organisation of your books and your equipment. And again, we will help you with that. Miss Alexander already spoke about a number of people who are here in school to help you. So just to add to the wellbeing side of things, we also have an attendance officer, Mrs. Young, who will always be there to support you with regards to attendance queries. And our medical administrator, Mrs. Soto, will be in the main Students Services School office, and she will help you if you have any medical needs with filling in a medical plan and making sure that we're all aware of what we need to do to support your daughter. I have a little challenge for you over the summer, and we'll talk more about that at the assessment day, and also hopefully, fingers crossed, in our transitions day. It's a summer read. So the English department have recommended to us to ask you to read Becoming Joe by Sophie Mackenzie, and that is a book that is the modern retelling of the story of Little Women. So it's a very nice, exciting book to read, and it gives you the information there about another reading list of other books that you can access and are suitable for your age group. Now, I've spoken to a lot of our current Year 7s and our current Year 8s actually to give me an insight to their views on their experiences in Year 7. Now, obviously our current year 7s and our current year 8s have had very different year 7 experiences due to COVID. So I have left in some of the year 8 information that they have said, because it's really important, I think, that we reflect on the things that students have enjoyed and learnt and are excited about their year 7 experience through COVID, but also through what we would consider to be perhaps normal school or pre-COVID school. Okay, so hopefully we'll be getting back to a lot of the activities that we haven't been able to do. So there are a number of experiences here and quotes from year 7 to tell you about how they have settled into the Ursuline. So if you have a look at this bottom one here next to the young lady playing the flute, I love my school. They make me feel safe and calm. This is a lovely feeling that I love to have. And when I was talking to this young lady, she said to me, I don't know what to say, miss, I just love school. I love everything. I love doing what I do every day. And so she managed to then put it into words. As you can see, I think it was Mr. Adams spoke about the commissioning service that will finish off our transition in November. As you can see in this picture here, we managed to have a commissioning service with our masks on this year, so very different, but we still managed to fulfil that promise to the Ursuline students who came to receive their badge and become a full member of the Ursuline family. Something sadly we've lacked a little bit this year is competition. We've not been able to go to competitions against other schools, but it is something that we thrive on, that we really enjoy, that the students really look forward to. You can see a quote here, the sports competitions are amazing, they're lots of fun, especially the tournaments where we played lots of schools, and also we tend to win. We do a lot of charity work, we do a lot of group activities to support people in our local communities. You can see here our year 7 students enjoying helping out with the food bank and with gifts at Christmas, enjoying their Christmas dinner, which we still had during COVID times as well. And as you can see, and I hope you have seen and know that we do school productions every year, and we have also been able to live stream a carol concert, and we've also had our St Cecilia's Day concert recently as well, which lots of year 7 students proudly took part in. So once this presentation has finished and the recording has come through, it will be posted up on our website tomorrow probably. If you have any further questions from this evening's event, there are three email addresses there for our admissions officer, Mrs. Barcelona, myself, Mrs. Jefferies, and our SENDCo, Mrs. Delhoum, who spoke to you earlier on. So that leaves me to say thank you very much for coming this evening. Please keep well and safe, and we look forward to seeing you in person very soon. So best wishes to you all, and thank you from Team UHS.